Have you ever had that gut feeling that you're living a life that was never really yours? Like you've built everything you thought you were supposed to want, but none of it feels like you anymore? Because I've been there. And the moment I stopped chasing the life I was told to want was the moment I finally started living. Hey, I'm Rebecca Hamilton, and together with my husband Chad, we're selling our house to move into an RV full time. Right now, we're in that strange in-between season. Our house is for sale, most of our belongings are already gone, and we're standing with one foot still in our old life and the other ready to leap into something entirely new. But this decision didn't come overnight. It came from a lot of reflection, letting go, and asking ourselves some really uncomfortable but life-changing questions. So, if you've been daydreaming about living on the road, simplifying everything, or just walking away from the version of life that you were told to want, this video is for you. Because today I'm going to walk you through 7 questions you need to ask yourself if you're seriously considering full-time RV living. These aren't surface level or cliche. They're the exact questions that helped us make one of the biggest, most freeing decisions of our lives. And if you're craving a life that feels more intentional, free, and aligned, hit that subscribe button. We're documenting every step of our journey from downsizing, simplifying, redefining success, and creating a life on our own terms. We'd love to have you hang out with us here. If you've found yourself searching or being drawn into full-time RV living videos, binge watching tiny home tours, or even just daydreaming and thinking about what life could look like on the road, that's not random. Not everyone finds this lifestyle appealing. Some people actually are quite repulsed by the idea of downsizing, driving all the time, or living without a permanent address. And let's be fair to them, totally valid. But if you're drawn to it, even just a little, that's something worth listening to. Desire is a signal. Curiosity is a clue. We're so quick to talk ourselves out of what we want, but what if the very fact that this idea excites you means that it's meant for you to explore? Question 1. Do you feel more alive when you're traveling than you do when you're back home in your daily life? I remember the moment I realized I only felt truly me when I was away, on the road, exploring, waking up with no schedule, no pressure to perform. But then when I came home, I felt like I shrunk back into routine and responsibility. And actually, I noticed that when I got back home, I was much less productive than I was when I was engulfed in new environments and traveling. And that's because what lights me up are things like creativity, writing. I have published 2 books so far. I love photography. I love creating content, making videos. My work is primarily creative based, and I felt more inspired and excited to work while I was traveling in new environments. It just felt more inspiring. There's a big difference between going on vacation and traveling, okay? I know sometimes these lines can get crossed, but I'm talking about traveling, but keeping a daily routine and sticking to some kind of normalcy while you're traveling, as opposed to vacation where you are like detaching from your work and you're just relaxing and, enjoying new foods and chilling by the pool. I'm not talking about that type of vacation, although time and a place for that definitely as well. I'm sure once we are full-time RV living on the road, we're going to want to go on vacations also. But I'm talking about, do you feel more excited and alive and more productive while you're traveling than you do in your daily routine? Because for me, as a creative individual, I find more inspiration traveling and on the road and in new environments than I do in my 4 walls at home in my small town that I live in. So pay attention to that. Question number 2. Have you outgrown the life that you're in, but don't know how to leave it? This question hit me pretty hard because we had built a very beautiful life, very comfortable. We built a successful business that was 7 figures, built it right from the ground up when we were at 0 sales to over 1 million in sales. And so that took a lot of our time and our energy and our passion. So building a successful business. And then of course, with building a successful business, you don't typically do that if you're not motivated by material things and money and all of that fun stuff that goes along with it. So of course we had to find our dream home, and we did that. And so we had that and the success and everything. It all kind of goes hand in hand with that kind of lifestyle. But deep down, I knew that I had outgrown it. And now when we closed down our bakery business, it was because I had embarked on a health and wellness journey, and it no longer aligned with what I wanted to do. So that was my primary reason for closing down the business. But then when I did that, I had also embarked on this journey of detachment from material things and more socialistic views of our world and less of a capitalistic mindset. So that was very interesting when that took a little bit of a turn as well. And I knew deep down that I had just completely outgrown my previous life when it came to the business and it came to all the material possessions. It didn't feel bad. It wasn't like a, feeling a negative feeling. It just didn't feel like me. I felt like I was not living my life anymore. I felt like I was living somebody else's life. That's truly how it actually felt. And that's one of the hardest places for people to be and to become aware of it. Because when we get stuck in these routines, we can become almost zombie-like and not even realize it. So you have to kind of have that awareness to look at your life from a broader perspective, even when nothing is quote unquote visibly wrong. But it's more so a feeling that you get that something is just off, and you need to learn to explore that feeling. So for me, RV life, the idea of living an RV life full time wasn't about escaping. It was about evolving and aligning with what my gut was telling me that I'd actually desire. Question number 3. If your life stayed exactly the same as it is right now, would that excite you or would it depress you? This question was a turning point for me because when I imagined my life 5 years down the road, exactly how it is today, I did not feel inspired. And like I said in the previous point, there was nothing like inherently wrong with the life that I was living right now. Very comfortable, very predictable, beautiful house, cute small town, 2 dogs, my husband, everything. There was nothing like that screamed like, oh my God, I'm at rock bottom. I need to change something right now. But it was like, I just felt stuck, and I don't like the feeling of stuck. I need freedom. I need creativity. I need to feel inspired. I felt like I was coasting. I kind of felt numb and like just going through the motions of things. And for me, that was a bit of a wake-up call. So if the idea of staying where you are forever right now makes your stomach drop or just doesn't excite you at all, then you owe it to yourself to explore what else is possible. Maybe it's not full-time RV life, but like what else is possible? Maybe you can rent out your house and go RVing more often. Maybe you do it 6 months out of the year. You split your time between your house that you're in right now and 6 months in an RV. Like that's a really good compromise, especially if you maybe have a spouse that's not totally up for the whole idea of letting go of your home and full-time RV life, but explore different options and what that would be for you. But asking yourself that question, if your life stayed the exact same right now, if it excites you or depresses you, will get you on your way to where you need to get going. Question 4. Can you let go of things that once defined you? Our house wasn't just a place to live. It was a symbol of how far we'd come. It was a symbol of success, as most material things and homes and possessions are in our Western society and culture. And so choosing to let it go felt like letting go of a version of ourselves that we had spent years building and working towards. So You can imagine that when you're headed in this direction and your tunnel vision for success and money and wealth and material things, and then you change that route, it feels very weird to just scrap everything that you knew to be true previously and go a completely opposite direction. RV life will ask you to strip away anything that no longer fits, any old rules, any old labels, any old expectations. But it's really not about losing yourself. It's actually about finally getting back to who you really are, like who you are as a human being, not the label that you are, not the profession or career that you attach your identity to, not who you are to other people. It's about really just scaling things back to who you are fundamentally as a human being. Question number 5. Are you okay with being misunderstood? Are you a people pleaser? Basically, is what this question is asking. I am not a people pleaser. I have never been a people pleaser, and I have actually been the opposite of that, where I am a challenger. I don't know if you guys know the Enneagram personality test, but if not, I highly, highly recommend doing it. It is a fantastic personality test. It will help you in so many areas of your life and your relationships, your careers, any direction you want to go into. Do your Enneagram test. If any of you have done it and know what your Enneagram is, then let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear and see who our followers are and what types you are. I am an 8. I'm a challenger. I challenge opinions, I challenge beliefs, I challenge a lot of different things. And I don't challenge it to be aggressive or to prove that my point is right and yours is wrong. I just challenge from a way of like, understanding where people are coming from. Being a challenger, I am absolutely okay with being misunderstood. That has never been an issue for me, but I did put this question in here because I know a lot of people in our society are people pleasers, and I know it is a major, major struggle to go against the grain and go against society when you are a people pleaser. And the reality is, when you are doing something so different, so outside the box, and so outside the societal norms, you are going to be faced with a lot of resistance, a lot of opinions. Not everyone will get it. And some of those people are going to be the ones closest to you. And that's going to be really hard for you if you're a people pleaser. I would just suggest, if you are a people pleaser, but you know you want to pursue this lifestyle, get into therapy and have somebody who has your back, who you can talk to about your feelings and express how you're feeling, because it's going to be very hard for you to navigate a major change like this. Because people are going to have their opinions and they're not going to understand it, and they're going to try to talk you out of it. And because the people closest to you know that you're a people pleaser, because they do, they're going to know how to push your buttons and how to get you to stay in your comfort zone and stay where they want you to stay. When you step outside the status quo, people will always question your choices. Some will think you've lost your mind. Others will quietly envy your courage, which is another major thing. I've personally noticed people that in my life quietly scaled back on their friendship and stuff after they've made some comments, which I'm very intuitive. When people say like, oh, that must be nice, like, or, oh, I hope when I retire, I'll be able to do that, but I can't do it right now because X, Y, and Z or whatever. Those comments, even though they are probably not aware of it, but the underlying root is envy. So when people envy your change, they tend to not want to be around you because it makes them more hyper aware of what they don't have, but they want to have. So when you have the courage to make a decision like that, other people will envy your courage because they want to have courage, but they don't. And so it's really important to recognize that as well. So you have to be okay with living a life that makes you happy, even if it makes others uncomfortable. So the best advice I can give on that is to get a really good therapist, surround yourself with people who are currently living this lifestyle, even if it's just online. Get into some Facebook groups of other people who do full-time RV life. They have a completely different mindset, you guys, than the average society people do. So definitely surround yourself with people like myself and Chad and other YouTubers who are pursuing this lifestyle, and get around some support, because you will need it if you have a really hard time with this. And the more at peace you are with your decisions, the less validation you'll need from anyone else. And I promise you too, it does get easier. Question number 6. Can you be still with yourself? RV life slows you way down, okay? And I don't mean it slows you down in the sense of like, I see a lot of RV people that they jump from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. So that can seem like it's busy. But the reality is the everyday life of RV living slows you down, brings you into the present moment. There's not going to be like busy social calendars to keep up with. There's not going to be like endless errands. You're not going to have as much space in your RV, so you're not going to be able to stock up sitting in stillness, because a lot of people are very uncomfortable with that. So the more comfortable you can be with that now, wherever you are in your life, start practicing that. Start practicing slowing down, reading a book, just sitting outside, getting off your phone. That's really going to help you with the transition, because there's going to be many moments where you're going to have to be still with yourself. And the thing is too, is that you're going to be leaving behind most of your social setting, like most of your friends and your family. It doesn't mean you're never going to see them again, of course, and you can't stay connected with them through your phone and social media, but it's going to change and it's going to be very different. So just keep that in mind. Question 7. Do you trust yourself to figure things out even in really tough situations? So in other words, are you a good problem solver, or if their problem arises, do you automatically get stressed out, pissed off, or go into freak out mode? And this is where knowing yourself comes in very, very handy, because you just want to be honest with yourself. Are you somebody who needs to work on your problem solving and staying calm under pressure? Because if so, start now before you get into RV life, because even though Chad and I are not in full-time RV life yet, we know there are many problems that are going to come up. We have spent the last decade of our lives building and running a very busy business with 4 store locations and lots of delivery routes and organizational things, and problems came up pretty much every day. So we feel very confident that under pressure and under even the worst situations, we're able to be calm and figure out a plan and work through issues like that. But if you are not, used to dealing with problems on a regular basis, then probably you are going to struggle with this part a lot. And so figuring out how to do this and stay calm under pressure is going to be very, very important. It's going to be a very important skill for you to develop. This lifestyle seems like it's going to be very beautiful, but it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Plans can change, things break, you can get lost, but you need to learn how to pivot. You need to learn how to trust your gut and your intuition, and that, you're really far more capable than you give yourself credit for. We all are, really, at the end of the day. Chad and I are genuinely so excited to get to know you guys. Let us know in the comments where you're following from and what kind of life you're dreaming about. We are all in this together, and this channel is a safe space for people who actually get it, people who want less stuff and more freedom, less pressure and more peace, less pretending and more truth. And if that's you, hit the subscribe button, because we're documenting everything from downsizing, simplifying, detaching from materialism, unlearning societal conditioning, and coming home to ourselves. When I first started waking up to the fact that the life I was living wasn't aligned with who I really was, I wrote everything down. Those realizations became the foundation of my book, Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. It's part memoir, part wake-up call, and if you're craving clarity or change, I think you'll feel really seen in its pages. The link's in the description below if you want to check it out. And finally, I just want to let you guys know that you don't need a perfect plan to change your life. You just need one honest moment of clarity and just the courage to follow through with it. Because this is your one life, and you deserve to live it fully, freely, and on your own terms.